Okay, so this video has been incredibly difficult for me to make. I've been trying to think of positive things to say, and it's just been coming off super disingenuous, right? So instead of trying to actually script anything, I'm just going to go on a rant. Hopefully, that has a better format because I feel like it'll come off more sincere my impressions of the game if I just go on like a rant as opposed to me trying to edit together me saying positive things. I've already mentioned in a previous video that I don't bite my tongue and I don't pull my punches, right? So I was trying to spin it in a more positive light, but I kept failing. I want to go to bed. It's like 2 a.m. I work in a couple of hours. And at this point, I'm just annoyed at the fact that I'm trying to cover up for the game's downfall instead of actually just giving my true impressions of it. Now, this is not a negative video. This is not a Nightingale sucks video. This is my first impressions of Nightingale as a person who's been looking forward to it for 2+ years, and I currently have 7 hours in the game. It's going to be my pros and cons, my do I recommend this? Do I think that it's even worth the $27 that it is right now? If I gave it a rating, what would that rating be? That way, there's kind of like some format to it, but it's pretty much just going to be a rant video. So you might want to just throw it up on your second screen and glance over every now and then because there is going to actually be gameplay in it. But majority of it is going to be me giving my opinion on it. So let's start off with that first question, right? Would I recommend Nightingale to anybody right now in its current state? No, no, I would not. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to give the game a bad review. No, I'm saying this because right now I can't recommend the game to anyone. In my opinion, it's just not in a good enough state for me to actually stand behind it. I have faith that Nightingale can become a really good game. It has a lot of the core features that are really cool, right? Like the game itself and the biomes, they look beautiful. The card system is incredibly cool, but the gameplay loop of it right now is just unenjoyable and super laggy, right? You spend majority of your time gathering resources to get gear. I'd say it's probably like an 80-20 split. 80% of the time you're gathering resources, 20% of the time you're actually engaging in what would be the fun part of the game, right? The combat, the biome system, that's only like 20% of the time. So that's why I'm saying I would not recommend it to anyone right now. It's just not in a good enough state for me to stand behind. Going on to the next question, do I feel like Nightingale is worth the $27 that you have to pay for it right now? Honestly, once again, no, no, I do not. I don't want this video to come off overly negative, like I mentioned, but it's just something that I usually rate games at $1 per hour, right? Like at a bare minimum, I want to be able to get an hour of game time for every dollar that I spend. That's how I've been rating games recently. And things like Power World are a massive success because I was able to get like 5, 6 hours for every dollar that I spent over there, right? So it is possible to get more than those I'm sorry, more than that hour per dollar. But at a baseline, I like to say if you can get an hour per dollar out of a game, that game's a success in my opinion, right? If you pay $60 for a game and you play it for at least 60 hours, you have effectively made your money in my opinion. Nightingale is not at that state right now. You could play it for 27 hours, but I see people turning away long before a 27-hour milestone. So, no, I would say that it's not currently worth the $27 that it's being charged, that you can buy it for. The third question being, what would I rate Nightingale? I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. I feel like that's a fair rating because the game is by no means a dumpster fire like the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League or anything like that, right? It's just not in the best state right now. And once again, like I said, I have a lot of faith that this can become one of the best open world survival games on the market, but as of right now, it's just not there. And if you look at something like Steam, it has a 55% positive review rating out of 2,000 reviews, right? So I feel like a vast majority of the community actually agrees with us. It's kind of impressive to see how directly split the community is right now. Now, a lot of the reviews are from people that only have a handful of hours on both sides, right? People are giving it amazing reviews and they have like an hour in the game, and then people are giving it negative reviews and they only have an hour in the game. So, once more people actually start playing for a longer period of time, if they do start playing for a longer period of time, we'll be able to see more of how the community feels, how this balances out. And I feel like the Inflection Games is good enough and works with their community enough that with the feedback that they receive, we should be receiving some relatively good patches here in the next couple of weeks. But as for myself, the official launch of Last Epoch is tomorrow, and there's a Path of Exile League shortly after that at the end of March, right? So the next time that I'm probably going to be even playing or looking at Nightingale is going to be 2+ months down the road, which is a decent amount of time. So hopefully I'm able to come back to you guys after like 3 months, after they do a bunch of updates and I do like 100 hours in the game and give like a full review of the game. Hopefully, I'm able to beat everything that they implement at that point in the time and give like a more in-depth experience of it. But as of right now, like I said, it's a 5.5 out of 10 at a generous 5.5. Like I feel like a lot of people would rate it much lower and justifiably so. But that's pretty much it. I said what I wanted to say. I gave my opinion and my first impressions. So I turn the question over to you. How do you feel? Leave it down in the comments. Do you think Nightingale is amazing? Do you think it's terrible? Do you agree kind of with me and you're in that middle ground where it has a lot of potential, but it's just not in the best state right now? And it's really up to Inflection to see where it goes, because if they don't respond in the right way, I can see Nightingale dying. I can. Even though it's such a cool concept, the state of the game right now, if it is mismanaged, the player base will just leave. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.